Hey Austin, Jessica Peterson here. I just got off the phone with Julius a little bit ago, and he thought you would be interested in checking this video out. And I'm super excited he did because today I'm going to go over 3 strategies you can start applying right away, and it's going to make a huge impact on your business. And I know that it will because we've used these same strategies with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys, and it's made a huge difference. I'm talking reaching goals they didn't think possible. Okay, so right now you guys are getting about 120 people on average to your website organically per month, which isn't terrible, but it also means you're missing out on huge potential in your massive service area. You're missing thousands of potential website visitors and up to 70% of jobs every month by not having all of these strategies fully deployed. Okay, so we're going to talk about content, citations, and then your backlinks. Okay, and it is obvious you definitely were working or are working with an SEO company, so that's great. You do have some of the basic foundations set up, which is great. Okay, when it comes to ranking on Google and Google sending customers to your website, content is key, and you do need a lot of content. Okay, that does mean separate pages for all of your major services as a bare minimum, and it does look like you do have those basic pages, which is good. Okay, and content is the written content as well as images on your website. Okay, you want to make sure everything is properly optimized with your local keywords. So, and we notice here, this just says image 6. This image is not optimized. If your home area is San Antonio, you're going to want these images to be like water damage restoration San Antonio, mold removal San Antonio. And so we really have to focus on that local keyword strategy, not just in the text, but in your images as well. Because Google is sending crawlers to your website that is going through and reading everything throughout your entire website to try and understand who you are, what type of services do you offer, and where do you offer those services. Okay, and unfortunately, you just don't have a lot of content on this website, and you have a ton of duplicate pages. Okay, this is very generic information. So this home page here is the most critical page of your entire website. It needs to have at least 1,500 words or more. When your competition has more than 1,500 words, you need more than they have. So you would try for 1,800, even 2,000 words. And all of this content on your home page needs to be based around those local keywords. The keywords people are actively searching for your services. So 99% of the time when your customers need help, they don't know who you are yet. So they're not going to be searching your brand. They are going to be searching those local terms like this one here, water restoration in San Antonio. And so you have to have those exact match keywords throughout this page. And so this just doesn't have enough content, doesn't have enough information, and definitely is not going to get you listed when you're looking at things like ChatGPT and Siri and those type of devices. Okay, and I also noticed that every single one of these pages are almost an exact duplicate of the home page. And when you go to, like, for instance, Houston, it's not, the link doesn't even have Houston in it. It just says copy of 𝑘𝑠𝑔. Okay, so the links aren't being optimized. The only thing that is changing here is the location. It says Houston, but it's every single one of these pages is the exact same content from your home page to all of your service area pages. Google does not like duplicate content. All these pages have to have their own original content. Okay, the purpose of these pages, service area pages, are so you can be found in each of these areas for the services that you're offering. And so having these pages is a great basic foundation, but you have to have content built around each of the services that you offer in these areas with the keywords for these areas. So you are missing out on a ton of potential here by just not having the proper content and keyword strategy in place to be able to be indexed and for Google to be able to bring people to your site. Because if Google doesn't understand, how can we expect them? I am so sorry. How can we expect Google to bring customers to your site if Google doesn't understand? Okay. If we look at your top ranking competitor for water damage in your area, we have American Water Damage. They have the separate pages for each service, the separate locations, and location pages. They have a lot of pages on here also that you can't see in this menu. But they do have a little bit more content. They've got the top contact forms. I always recommend having a contact form at the very top of your page above the fold. And we see about 80% more in conversions when people do go to your website. These guys don't have a ton of content. So these are definitely going to be easy to beat. You just have to do better than they're doing. So more content, better keyword strategy, more pages, long form blog content is going to be really important. I'm actually surprised at how much traffic they're getting despite their lack of content. So definitely, these guys are definitely beatable. We just have to do better. Okay, so we know when your customer does a search, they're going to do a search similar to this. And when they do, there's 3 major spots on the first page of Google that your business can show up in. And the first is generally going to be ads. Those are your cost per click ads and local service ads like these. And this can be really beneficial if that is something you want to do, as long as you have your systems dialed in and proper landing pages built out. If not, it can be kind of a money pit. The second area is even more important because 30% of people come straight here to the map pack and don't go anywhere else. So when you're not one of these top 3 businesses here, you're literally sending all of those jobs to your competitors. So in order to get into this position, it does require that you optimize the profile, but one of the most important things is citations. And that is simply listing the name of your business, the address, phone number, and website, and listing those in a bunch of directories, which are things like the Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Glassdoor, even social media pages, Angie's, House. All of those are great citations to have. So you need good quality citations, and we need more than our competition. Whenever we're competing against our competitors, we always have to do more and better than they're doing. So we do need more of those citations, and that's going to help quite a bit. And then this third section here, this is the organic section. This is the most important section because 60 to 70% of people will skip everything else. They'll skip the ads, they'll skip the maps, and they come right here. And so when your business is not here, you're losing 60 to 70% of the jobs every single month. And so in order for your business to show up here, right, it all comes back to the foundation of the website. And it is important to note that for each of these keyword searches, okay, depending on how high you are, is how much of the traffic you might get. So in the highest position, you could get over 35% of that traffic. And if you're lower on the page, you'll get less traffic. So even when you're ranking on the first page, we want to keep pushing so we're getting you ranked higher so you capture the most potential traffic. And so properly having this website built out and optimized with the right content and keyword strategy, and then supporting that with SEO is really going to help you guys out a lot. Now, this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to tell us how your website is performing. We can see here that you have a rating of a 16 out of 100 in Google's Trust Flow. So that's not bad at all. I often see much worse, okay? And this is partly because of the quality of your website, but more so the power you're sending to your website. When it comes to your website, it is a tool, and like most tools, it requires power. And we send power with backlinks. So you need a lot of good quality backlinks. This is a popularity contest, so not all backlinks are created equal. We want only good quality do-follow links that are closely related to your business. And when you get those good quality links, that helps increase the score. Google trusts you more and helps promote your website higher in the rankings. And so right now, you've been indexed for 58 keywords, and you're getting about 120 people to your website. When we look at these keywords, you are ranking in San Antonio for several keywords, which is awesome. And you're doing pretty well there for some of them. Now, there are multiple variations of these keywords. So this water damage restoration in San Antonio, Texas gets 100 search volume, but water damage restoration in San Antonio gets 500 in search volume. So we want to make sure you're capitalizing on the right keyword strategies so you're getting the most potential customers to your website. And then when we're getting there, we want them to be converting. So like I said, there's 10 spots per page on Google. You are ranking for a number of good quality keywords, which is great. But it's pretty much only San Antonio, and it's only a handful of keywords. You're missing some of the higher volume keywords, and you're missing all the other areas that you're serving. So it's really, really critical that you work on these strategies. When I look at your competitor, they have a lower score here with over 600 backlinks, which just proves that not all backlinks are created equal. You would think if they had 600, their score would be much higher, but it's not. And it's because a lot of these are spam. And so while we need more backlinks than our competitors, we don't need the spammy ones. We just want to have more and better quality of the good links that they have. But because they service multiple areas and they have a ton of pages, they've been indexed for over 300 keywords, and they're getting over 1,400 people to their website every single month. And when we look at their keywords, we can see the tons of volume here. Here's that water damage restoration San Antonio, 500 potential every single month, and they're on the first page. So there's a ton of potential here. You just have to work on the content and keyword strategy. And as I said, those guys are definitely beatable. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, and apply it yourself, and start helping more people beginning today. But if you'd rather focus on what you do best and have a partner in growth to help you get there, give us a call at Peterson SEO, because this is our specialty, and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. So please feel free to reach out, ask any questions, respond to my email, give me a call or a text at this number here, and we would be happy to chat. And I would also love it if you could just give us some feedback on what you thought of this video so I can continue to make them better, okay? So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon, Austin.